So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to speak to you about sustainable leadership and well-being and how we weave a thriving world. So let's start with this picture. Because, like they say, pictures can say more than 1,000 words. So what do you see in this picture? I see a human. Do you see a human in nature? I guess so. But what more? What I see is a thriving human being in connection with nature, a part of nature. But I also see some more things. I see challenge and accomplishment. I see leadership. I also see uncertainty and future. And I see hope. And all of that and much more I will focus on in my talk today. We do live in challenging times. I think that is something that we all know. Planet Earth and her inhabitants, including ourselves, are faced with a variety of global challenges of great magnitude. Challenges like social injustice, conflicts, climate change, and biodiversity loss. And to address those challenges, sustainability and sustainable development are central concepts. And these concepts guide our thinking as we work towards solving these global challenges. And these challenges, they call for a plan. And we have the plan. It's called the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which are based on the three-part sustainability framework of biosphere, society, and economy, and their interlinkages, where the biosphere is the foundation of society and economy. So we have the vision. We have a clear plan in sight. We have a common vision for a sustainable world by 2030. And we also have the knowledge. We have the conceptual knowledge. We have the technology. But then what is stopping us from implementing solutions at the rate, the scale, and the magnitude to address the challenges that the world is facing? I think that it is about connection. The world has never been more connected. Through our phones, we can reach out to people all around the world in seconds. We don't need to wait for the morning paper to know what's happening on the other side of the world. We watch it live. We are constantly connected. But is it a false connection? As individuals, we have become disconnected with ourselves, with other people, and with nature. And the consequences are that we think and we behave like we are independent from everybody and everything, and that we are in competition with others to meet our needs. So this mindset of separateness also drives social alienation and exploitative human behaviors that hinders sustainability at all levels. And meanwhile, the mental health impacts of the crisis, because we are so worried about what happens, it then drives this unsustainable behavior that undermines positive actions. So, is there hope? Of course, there's always hope. And here, leadership and well-being comes into the picture. Sustainability and well-being are closely linked. And in 2020, the World Happiness Report published an extensive body of empirical evidence analyzing this connection of sustainability and human well-being. But what about leadership? In this report, Reconnection, Meeting the Climate Crisis Inside Out by the Mindfulness Initiative, it is revealed how we can overcome barriers to action with mindfulness and compassion, which are among the evidence-based and trainable capacities that are needed to make the change that we need, to make really this transformation that we all need. But what capacities, skills and qualities do we need for this inner growth to move towards a more sustainable future? The Inner Development Goals is a not-for-profit and open source initiative that works with researchers, with experts, and practitioners in leadership development and sustainability to find exactly these skills, these abilities and qualities that are relevant for our inner growth, so we can move what matters. And this is the framework. First of all, we need to cultivate our inner life and develop and deepen our relationship to our thoughts, feelings, and body. That will then help us to be present, to be intentional, and non-reactive when we face complexity. We also need thinking or cognitive skills, because developing our cognitive skills by taking different perspectives, evaluating information, and making sense of the world as an interconnected whole is essential for a wise decision-making. It's also very important to relate and care for others. Appreciating, caring for, and feeling connecting to others, such as neighbors, to future generations, and the nature, help us to create more just and sustainable systems and societies for everyone. And then we need collaborative and social skills. To make the progress on shared concerns, we need to develop our abilities to include, to hold space, and communicate with stakeholders with different values, skills, and competences. And last but not least, we need to act and drive change. So qualities like courage and optimism help us to acquire true agency, break old patterns, generate original ideas, and act with persistence in uncertain times. So the leadership that we need now to deliver the future that we want is leadership that is purposeful, that is courageous, innovative, and pioneering, and that is deeply human and inclusive. In most of my professional life, I have been working on building capacities of students and professionals in the environmental field. For the longest time, I worked with young to mid-career professionals from sub-Saharan Africa and Central Asia, but for the past 3 years, we at the Sustainability Institute of the University of Iceland, we have trained students from Iceland and the Arctic region. And I want to give you 2 examples of training programs that we have co-organized for the past 3 years. First of all, it's the Arctic Climate Leadership Training, or Loftslagsleiðtoginn as we call it in Icelandic. This program combines outdoor activities with climate and leadership training. And we are empowering and training young people to take part in the climate debate and find their own ways to be agents of change for a more sustainable world. And we took our young students on a very difficult 4-day hike where they had everything on their backs and was sleeping in tents and walking in a difficult terrain, crossing rivers and glaciers with sleeping in tents, etc. And this was truly a remarkable experience for all of us. It presented challenges, it provided opportunities both for education and meaningful discussions. And it did not only test the endurance and perseverance of our students, but it also highlighted the significance of teamwork, cooperation, and compassion among the participants. And it served as a parallel to the dedication required to address the pressing climate crisis that we face. So, nature can really teach us leadership and sustainability. But we also found that it taught our students the importance of well-being, and I want to read out loud this direct quote from one of the participants. "The expedition taught me the invaluable lesson that maintaining a good balance is essential for achieving our goals. It taught me the importance of balancing both the mind and body, allowing us to feel good and be inspired by the people around us. It showed me the significance of being supported and having fun, while also reminding me of the vastness and power of nature, surpassing our own capacities. Furthermore, it emphasized the need to recognize and prioritize self-care and the well-being of our planet. This experience revealed that when we find balance, anything becomes possible." The second program that I want to tell you about is ongoing, and it's called Arcade, or Arctic Academy for Social and Environmental Leadership. And this is an interdisciplinary leadership program focusing on Arctic challenges, and we have students from Iceland, from Norway, Greenland, the US, and Denmark. And this is an online program, but with 3 very intensive on-site weeks, one in Tromsø, in Norway, one in Iceland, and one in Greenland. And 2 weeks ago, we ended the intensive week in Iceland. And we took the students to southeastern Iceland, where they experienced the nature firsthand. For example, we took a walk by the Vatnajökull Glacier, as you can see on the picture, and then we asked them to walk in silence and listen to the glacier. Like you can see them here listening to the glacier. And this experience turned out to be very emotional and a great leadership experience for the students. And again, I want to quote one participant. "Almost all of us spoke of this land, or at least this nature, as somehow like a home, not necessarily in the sense of a shelter, but as a place we should be, a place we are comforted by, and a place we are duty-bound to steward to the best of our ability. When we were asked to stay silent, we upheld the silence for much longer than we were required to, which I took as a collective agreement that this silence was a moment worth indulging for just a bit longer, and then just a bit longer again. We all connected worthlessly over the same scenery, despite our different backgrounds." And this student talks about different background because they come from both different countries, but also from political science, law, biology, etc. It is an interdisciplinary program. "Weaving a Thriving World" is the title of this talk. But what's weaving got to do with it? If you think about it, weaving can be a metaphor for connection. One thread of its own can't make the tapestry that we need. We have all these different threads. Biodiversity, we have peace, we have well-being and healthy climate and equity. But these threads that we are weaving, as individual threads, they cannot make the pattern emerge. So it's our task at hand to weave them together in such a way that it can make the pattern emerge. And sustainability and sustainable development goals are exactly about that, because the challenges that we are facing and the solutions to those challenges, they are all interconnected. We're talking about weaving, but isn't it also about love? But what's love got to do with it? Love is about connection. Loving and connecting to ourselves, knowing ourselves, our strengths and values, and loving other people. Loving and caring for the well-being of other people, no matter where they come from. Because in the end, we are all the same. We have the same hopes and dreams. We care for our families and friends, and we want to live a good life. And love is also about loving and appreciating nature and the ecosystem services it provides us with. So look at our friend, Tina Turner. You can see that she's full of energy, because love is not only a second-hand emotion. It's a powerful force and can be used as a fierce tool to bring us forth. So in the end, all you need is love. Thanks.